That was the shit, dog.
Little, I don't want to say oily, but
Nice.
a little mucusy, I guess.
Gotta lay off that fucking burrito, boys.
A foul was called.
Shut your faggot mouth.
Numbers follow a.
Alright, give me a sec.
Of attack plans for Iran, but has
Dog, I already gave you 5 fucking minutes, dude.
Threatening
Shut
to
your
join
fucking trap.
Israel's strikes will lead Tehran to abandon its nuclear program. They say, since his private instructions in the White House Situation Room to the military,
What temperature
Trump
is
has
it in your
disclosed
house, dog?
publicly that an attack is an option. Quote,
72
I
or
have
73.
ideas on what to do, but I haven't made a
Damn,
final.
dog.
I'd like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, he told reporters. Very Trumpian. Trump is hoping that threatening to join
Did
Israel's
your
strikes in Iran,
dad
which
change
continued for
the
6 days, will
thermostat
compel
or whatever?
Tehran to meet his
He
demands.
did, but then he did say, oh, it's going to be really humid in the next few days. So maybe that's him saying that we're not going to be retards? I don't know.
The people said he acknowledged that a U.S. attack was under consideration, but said he still might decide against it. Well, we do have this. Trump says he may meet with Iran at the White House. This is amazing. We actually have a clip. Let's roll the tape.
Look, they should have made the deal. I had a great deal for them. They should have made that deal. 60 days we talked about it, and in the end they decided not to do it, and now they wish they did it. And they want to meet, but it's, it's a little late to meet, but they want to meet, and they want to come to the White House. They'll even come to the White House, so we'll see. I may do that, but it's a shame it could have been done the easy way. Good luck.
Could have been done the easy way. Well, I certainly would prefer that, but what do you think, Mike? Do you think Iran's going to come to the table, actually negotiate something legitimate, or do you think we go to war?
I think they're in really bad shape. I think they're only now starting to understand how bad everything is. Israel's in total control of the skies of Tehran. I think this is something they couldn't have imagined. Today, completely blue skies, and Israel was bombing in the daylight.
Wow.
Iran hasn't shot down a single drone or a single jet of the Israelis, as far as I know. Just amazing.
The new $20
I think I only
Diamond
played like
Instant
2,
Ticket.
3 games.
A game so big,
I just want to kind of chill.
Do you think there's a possibility that Iran may bring in some allies?
I don't think so. I don't know who would do it. Who could do it? There's nobody. There's the only power in the area that could cause Israel significant trouble is Turkey, and it's not inclined to. I mean, Israel has an unimpeded air bridge from Israel across Syria into Iran. If the Turks wanted to cause
Located a bomb.
they don't want to.
Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Nobody is upset about what Israel's doing. They don't want to participate in it. Everyone wants to see Iran's nuclear program destroyed.
There was a story earlier about Russia giving some kind of warning, but the warning was actually just fears of destabilizing the region. All these different news outlets are trying to make it seem like Putin was saying, Trump, I'm going to come for you and join Iran. He was actually saying, oh man, if Iran falls, that could destabilize the region. It wasn't even Putin, it was a foreign minister, advisor, I guess. And so it really just sounds like they're all kind of saying, yeah, Iran, you're on your own on this one. We don't want to get involved.
I know for a fact that Khamenei fought after Trump was elected, and in October, the Israelis knocked out all of the air defenses of the Iranians, and they were at that point totally naked before the Israelis. And Khamenei called Putin.
Dog, my $220 laptop came in today, dog. I think I got it on sale, like 160 off or some shit.
You must recover the diffuser.
Said, he didn't
Yeah, dog,
ask.
you
He
there?
ordered him. He said, "When you were in trouble, I came to help for you.
Yeah.
You
My
must
cheesecake
come
turned out pretty
and
good,
help
dog.
me now." And Putin said, "Niet." So this is
you wanna know
Putin
why?
has been keeping a certain amount of distance from Iran.
It's not
since
better than
Trump
the
was
chocolate
elected.
one, if that's what you're gonna say.
You're fucking gay.
One of the strongest arguments about, against going to.
Dude, I don't think
getting-
men
US getting
should
involved in
fucking
anything
make recipes for the internet. I think they're all
Iran
fucking
is
trash
that
at it.
There would be a rush to
All
support
retards.
Iran from not just.
I got a recipe from a chick, a hot chick, and I can even change it to what I want to do, and it still comes out perfect. When I get a dude's recipe, it all fucking goes to shit.
Russia, but also China. Neither of them seem to be doing anything. Do you think that changes the equation regarding China and Taiwan as well, or do you think that these are too different to make comparisons?
It's really no.
Be
To
ready
me, it's
to
a
eliminate
huge question,
hostiles.
a hugely important question. How is China going to read the implications of the Iran war relations with us over Taiwan? And I don't know that I have a good sense of that. I think that Trump taking his whole point about peace through strength.
Whoa.
The stronger he is, the more decisive he is. The more he'll be able to deter Xi Jinping. But how Xi Jinping is reading it, it's not clear to me. One little small thing that's interesting about China and the Israelis, we say that their goal is to destroy the Iranian
5
nuclear
seconds
program,
counting.
but it's not exactly true. They have two goals: destroy the nuclear program,
Four has located a
also
bomb.
destroy
Be
the
ready for
ballistic
hostile
missile
action.
program. And the reason for that is that last October, when the Iranians struck the Israelis, what they did is they saturated one level of the Israeli air defense with these medium-range ballistic missiles. They got through and hit the Nevatim air base, which is where the Israelis have the F-35, and it really rattled the Israelis. So they responded by taking out the part of the production supply chain, the production chain of the Iranians. For the they
That shit
destroyed
looks
these
so
mixers
dumb,
for
man.
making the solid fuel propellant. And the Israelis calculated at that time that they had set the production of the ballistic missiles back, or stopped the production for at least a year. But what happened was the Chinese moved in and gave the Iranians new equipment, and then the Iranians started a plan to double or triple their supply of these weapons, or their arsenal of these weapons, within the next 5 years. And if they had got that kind of arsenal, from the Israeli point of view, that would be the equivalent of an atomic bomb, even though it's a conventional weapon. It's a firepower weapon. So there's kind of two things that are pushing this. And one of them is this. One of them is the fact that China is helping Iran, but from not in a direct way. I don't think they're being directed militarily, but they'll be there to try to
Friendly,
help,
last operator
Iran.
standing.
They'll violate U.S. sanctions, right? That's what they're doing with that, or are there no sanctions on the parts that Iran
All friendlies
needs?
were eliminated. Mission
They
failure.
do it through companies, so they will violate sanctions, but they'll also play fast and loose, and it's a kind of a sort of a whack-a-mole game of trying to find which part of China you're going to which entity in China you're going to go after in order to prevent this from happening.
Does this hurt Trump's credibility? I notice he gives himself an out at the end of his speech there, where he says, "Or I might not do it at all," basically, which is like, look, I could do this, I could end up doing all these things, but I might not. That way, it doesn't look bad if the time runs out on the arbitrary timeline he gave Iran.
Be ready
and
to
then
eliminate
they
hostiles.
don't come to the table, and then him not acting ends up making him look weak. So gives himself that out there. Or do you think it'll be perceived as weakness by the rest of the world? If the time runs out, nobody comes to the table, and the U.S. doesn't get involved.
We don't know the negotiation. There's clearly a negotiation. He's not totally happy with them, so he's trying to move them. But we don't know what it is. So I think it gives him options. He always likes that, to keep options.
I was gonna say,
I
like,
don't see it's a bad thing.
it felt like the type of thing where, like, if he doesn't make that statement at the
10
end there, then
seconds
it's
to
going to
insertion.
be perceived a certain way. So he must decide to get him out.
5
It
seconds
kind
and
of feels
counting.
like, based on the news, about, as you're describing, just
Op 4 is located a
bombarding
bomb.
Iran.
Get ready
Iran's
to
not
engage.
blocking any of it. For this. And Israel's heavily defended. It looks
I
like
don't know if
Iran's already
I don't know if
crushed.
I've actually got a kill with this
I
gun
wouldn't go
before,
that
so
far.
I'm gonna try to.
Because there's another article
Not
in the
die.
Wall Street Journal about the magazine.
Nice. Well, he's dead next round.
Of the Israelis, their interceptors running out because the interceptors to shoot down the ballistic missiles are much more expensive than the missiles themselves, because you have to build a much more sophisticated missile to hit a missile than the one coming in, and then sometimes it takes 2 or 3 to do it. So the Israelis are running up against the clock, and the Iranians are running a marathon, and the Israelis are sprinting. Which is one of the reasons why I think Trump might actually bomb Iran.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I haven't considered that, and it sounds like that's what's going to happen.
I'd be willing to bet on it.
Iran's basically saying we're going to wait until Israel defenses
One
are
friendly
run out
remaining.
and then go full bore. Just
Well, I think what they would do is they would, if they could, but
Mission
'cause
failed.
it's a,
All
it's a
friendlies
kind
were
of a race.
eliminated.
I think they would like to demonstrate that they're not going to be toppled, and wait until they can see that Israel is having trouble with interceptors, and then producing interceptors, and then start a serious negotiation with Trump. If they could hold out that long, and then Trump would be that would give Trump leverage over Israel to shut the thing down if he were so inclined. Like their only way out is to have the United States protect them from.
Meet Arun and Maribel. They make bank with EQ
Who are you gonna kill?
Bank. EQ Bank.
Well, we have a Glaz or
Or
Ash.
to have Israel run through its magazine.
and so you think the most likely outcome then will be Trump?
Friendly
Trump
drone
will
deployed.
strike
Op
on
4 is
yeah,
reinforcing.
so-
Are you only gonna be able to down them?
It depends, unless
No,
they
I'll
come
do-
with.
I think
basically
anyone
said
on the team right
to
now I
the-
can
to
kill.
the Iran-
I
I mean,
can
you have to
full
think about
kill.
probabilities. So I know that not one thing or another. I think the highest
Because
probability
Maverick's a low
uh,
HP as well, I think.
is that Trump will bomb Fordo, the fortified facility under the mountain, because that's all the Israelis want from the Americans. In terms of American
Bunker
intervention,
busters.
they want the bunker busters and the B-2 bombers. That's they
10
want
seconds
that
before
they want
insertion.
that operation. And Trump is going
5
to look at
seconds
this and
before
see,
insertion.
unless the Iranians are coming and capitulating and saying, we will destroy our
Proceed to
nuclear
bomb
program,
location
we
and
will
defuse
destroy
it.
all the underground facilities, we'll do it under IAEA and supervision and so forth. Unless they say that, then they're just playing for time. And he's going to see that the closer the Israelis get to running through their magazine, the more they're going to be inclined to take extreme measures to put pressure on the Iranians. And he'll see it as the least worst option, to destroy the program, and then we're done.
Well, let's jump to the story from the Telegraph. We had this one yesterday. Search
Drop the
China
diffuser.
sends mystery transport
diffuser
planes
has been
into
secured.
Iran. Flight plans indicate a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appear to have never flown near European skies. Take a look at this map. This is fascinating. You can see all of the planes that are avoiding this area for a good reason. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Israel. Ain't nobody flying over these countries right now. Save for a few. We've got this one, CLX 9877. They say the day after Israel attacked Iran on Friday, a cargo plane took off from China. The next day, a second plane departed from a coastal city. Then on Monday, yet another departed, this time from Shanghai. 3 flights in 3 days. They say to add to the mystery, flight plans indicated a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appeared to have never flown near European skies. Aviation experts have noted the type of plane used, Boeing 747 freighters, are commonly used for transporting military equipment and weapons and hired to fly government contract orders. Quote, these cargoes cannot but generate a lot of interest because of the expectation that China might do something to help Iran, said Andrea Giselli, a lecturer at the University of Exeter, who specializes in China's relations with the Middle East and North Africa. They're going to mention that China and Iran are strategic partners. aligned primarily in their opposition to the U.S.-led world order and in favor of a new multipolar phase in global diplomacy. They mention Iran is one of China's key energy suppliers, sending as many as 2 million barrels of oil a day. So it's no surprise that Beijing might be looking for ways to support and stabilize the Islamic Republic. Now, I'm wondering if these have been evacuations.
Fuck.
Maybe they're trying. Trump says the Ayatollah. We know where he is. We can get him when we want to. Could these planes be meant to get people out of the country safely?
I don't see why not. Right? I mean, it could be anything. We were just talking.
I don't see why they'd be bringing in military equipment, to be honest.
Maybe though.
Unless it's uranium.
They could have been bringing in components.
Yeah.
Something.
Microcontrollers, chips for.
Maybe something to do with air defense. I really have no idea. It could be anything.
What about you, Brett?
Yeah.
Is there any movie that you've seen that will explain what's going on?
Actually,
the thing that I thought was funny about it is like, what if somebody's really need to get to the other side really, really fast? Like, look, we're not going to go around. We're just going to... Like, sure, a missile might hit us, but we've got places to go.
Well, that is this story. Check this out, this tweet.
Can I call somebody?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who is it?
His name is John Kasapoğlu. He works with me. He's a Turkish open source military analyst. He'll have an idea. Should I do it?
I mean, yeah, if he doesn't mind being live to, millions of people, I guess.
We'll find out. Here we go.
He's gonna be like, "What do you mean I'm on the air?"
Yeah.
All right, let's get.
Right.
We're gonna phone a friend to get an answer as to what these Chinese transports are.
Their rules.
In the meantime, while you're getting him on the phone, we have this one.
You there?
Alex Fazio posted this image.
Yeah.
Someone wasn't
When you're using your laptop, do you have
Shut your fucking mouth, dude.
do you have a mouse or you use the pad?
Shut your
Fucking faggot
cunt.
uses more energy to say gay faggot shit than actually answer the fucking question like a gay faggot.
And there's a
What a
lone UAE
faggot.
flight
His
going
name
straight
is
over Iran. I love this. Patrick Blumenthal said, quote,
Brendan.
I deleted my social media and stopped reading the news, and honestly, my mental health has been so much better.
I'm on air right now on a podcast to millions of people, and I want to beam you in. Is that all right? Yeah, to millions of people, and I want to beam you in. Is that okay? Are you ready to?
Just say yes.
Okay, here we go. I'll put you on.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Like that? And he'll be able to. Really?
No. You're,
Like that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right. And don't put it on speaker.
Nope.
No, don't put it. Can he talk? Maybe we can hear him.
Hey, John, talk.
No, I can't hear him.
Okay,
You
hold
might
on.
have to do the ear.
Located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Man.
Earpiece.
Speaker.
Here, I'll just
Dude,
put
that
it
fucking
on
gun is unusable
Okay,
for me.
talk now.
fucking suck. Fucking faggot.
Yeah. Now you can put up the microphone.
Okay, now put up the microphone. So John, we're looking at a map, and there was in the Telegraph. There's this report that a Chinese plane, or
Three of them.
three Chinese planes, a couple of days ago flew into Iran. What do you think they did? What are they doing?
Depends what kind of planes they are. Are they cargo planes?
Yes.
Like strategic lifts.
Yes, cargo planes.
So if they are cargo planes and if they are Chinese, I would say my number one guesstimate would be solid propellant components for Iranian missiles.
Wow.
Really?
My second guesstimate would be guidance systems or microprocessors for, again, Iranian missiles. My third guesstimate, and these are all like I'm ranking them according to their probability, my third guesstimate would be a Chinese attempt to boost Iranian air defenses or electronic warfare systems.
Mission
But
failed.
this is
All
helps
friendlies have
against
been neutralized.
Israeli technologies. I know the Iranians use Chinese anti-ship missiles, but I don't think in this case they are looking for them. Iranian Shahid drones have Chinese DNA, so my fifth guesstimate would be some drone components. But if I had to bet on one thing, I would say is Iran needs solid propellant medium-range ballistic missiles against Israel as a counteroffensive deterrent. And I know that the Israelis hit their solid propellant production facilities hard back in October 2024. So if they had one chance to go Chinese for
Be ready
something,
to eliminate hostiles.
and if I were advisor to Khamenei, I would go for this.
Okay.
So the full missiles?
No, the solid propellant, because like
Okay.
missiles are like missiles are like super structures. So you have to produce the microprocessors, mission computers, multiple re-entry vehicles, the fins, the airframes. The part that the Iranians are mostly depending on the Chinese.
10 seconds. 5 seconds to insertion. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Has begun.
All set.
The power. Fuck. No.
Is the solid propellant
The operator
fuel
remaining.
for the solid propellant ballistic missiles. Why solid propellant is very important? Because it minimizes the launch cycle. Almost very important because it minimizes the launch cycle. Almost 3-to-1 compared to liquid fuel systems. And it is very important in two kinds of situations. First, if your adversary is flying over your airspace and looking for your transporter erector launchers, which is the cool way of saying the vehicles that launch your ballistic missiles. And second, if you want to boost the surprise factor against your adversary, like a blitz, like a lightning attack.
Interesting.
I want you to know, John's getting married on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
And
Yeah, thank you.
and it's in the middle of the night for him.
Oh.
3 a.m.
Oh wow! Thanks for
3
calling in.
This is the
Hot sneeze.
whenever
is
I
working,
whenever
yeah.
I have a question about what's happening militarily in the world, I can call him up in the middle of the night, and he never complains, even when he's about to get married.
I mean, it sounds spot on. This is actually what you and we were just speculating as to what this may be. Components for missiles or something, or
But he said it with a much greater degree of certainty.
I know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the Chinese, actually, we know that the Chinese wanted to ship those to the Iranians. And some news stories suggest that they did it. But 100% we know that they tried to do that by sea lanes. But if they dispatch an airlift, a strategic airlift, and if it is really solid propellant components, it means that the Chinese and the Iranians, because they are the demanding party, they were in a hurry, literally. Yet again, there comes another question. If they were in a hurry, why in the world their generals were sleeping in their beds in the country apartments of Tehran?
Yeah.
So I looked it up. 3 cargo planes, 747s, can carry 360 metric tons of solid fuel.
Yeah.
793,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it would equip like
Yes!
high double-digit numbers of medium-range ballistic missiles.
Dude, that's amazing.
Drop the diffuser.
Oh, did you see what I just did? I don't know why, but I got him to use his thermite charge on a fucking barricade on a doorway. Oh my god. Holy fuck, dude.
Friendly operator remaining. Op 4 eliminated
Dude,
all
that is
friendlies.
amazing, man.
The internet says it could be 12 ICBMs, 24 to 36 MRBMs, and 60 to 90 SRBMs.
26 MRBMs? No, much higher.
So,
Much higher, because you can play numbers of medium-range ballistic missiles.
wow.
Yeah.
The internet says it could be 12 ICBMs, 24 to 36 MRBMs, and 60 to 90 SRBMs.
26 MRBMs? No, much higher.
You found
So-
a bomb.
Because you can play with it. Like, look, it is like a child's play. If you reduce the
Op 4
warhead
last operator standing.
weight, and you need less fuel.
Yeah.
For instance, the Khorramshahr missile that the Iranians fired, like signal fired, it is more than test fired, like signal fired a few days ago, the warhead was almost empty. They wanted to show something. Yeah.
Right.
So it depends. But it's gonna get dangerous because they have some toys that they haven't demonstrated yet.
I think that was the funniest shit I've seen playing solo. Holy fuck, dude.
Like Fatih 2, like Khorramshahr with an actual warhead. The actual warhead is more than 3 times the warhead of the Hajj Qassam missiles, for instance, or Emad missiles that they have been throwing at the Israelis.
So is it possible that right now Iran is using weaker warheads to try and run out the interceptors?
I wouldn't say the weaker warheads. I would say the mid-range warheads in their arsenals. Like these are not the weakest links in the overall Iranian arsenal, but these are not the rock stars either. Like the rock stars are still waiting.
So the question was: is it possible that they're holding back somewhat in order to run down the magazine of the Israelis?
Yeah, of course, because you look like the magazine depth, the interceptor magazine, which interceptor we use it for defensive missiles that intercept other missiles, like the Arrow missiles, like the Path missiles.
Loading back!
So the magazine depth is at the highest point during the opening stages of a conflict. Okay, so you want to throw.
Yes! Yes! Yo, my first triple, holy fuck. It's 5v1 now. Oh my god, dude. That's hilarious. Okay, these guys are fucking... Holy fuck, dude. When I saw that, I was like, yes, 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 yes.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
careful. Like you want to throw your less important assets in the beginning of a conflict to deplete the adversary's interceptors, but you cannot go very weak and very low with that, because also you have to signal that you are powerful and you are capable of inflicting damage to your adversary. So what the Iranians are doing right now, like Hajj Qasem, Imad, these kind of missiles, this is the sweet spot, and I think their choice of weapons are really good. I would advise the same if I were advising Khamenei, if I were on the dark side.
Interesting. Wow, thanks, man. This has been very insightful.
Okay, John, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Like I'm gonna be awake for 1 more hour. My fiance is like sleeping here. She hasn't left me yet for some reason. I don't know. Mike is coming all the way from United States, like continental United States, to my wedding just to apologize.
Yeah, I'm starting my relationship with your wife, on a really nice foot. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Wow, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
He is amazing.
Basically, he just gave us the.
He's amazing. You know, do you remember when there was that missile that went into Poland?
Yeah.
And it was the question: did Russia strike Poland, or was it a Ukrainian interceptor? And there was a report that came out saying that a Western intelligence official had said it was a Russian missile, and he immediately said he looked at the picture of the engine. There was a picture of the burnt wreckage of the engine, and he immediately said, "No, this is a." He did it like an intelligence analyst. He said, "There's an 85% probability that this is a Ukrainian interceptor." He said there is one possibility that it's a Russian missile, but in that case it has to have been fired because of the distances from Belarus, and we don't have any information that the Russians have these missiles in Belarus, so it's really probably the Ukrainian. And he did that just from looking at the wreckage. I don't know anyone else who knows who knows the all of the technical details to that level.
So rocket engines.
He was saying how many missiles could they?
Objective captured.
Fuel with 360 tons of fuel.
He said high double digits, I thought.
Yeah. So what ChatGPT gave me is short-range ballistic missiles could be between 60 and 90 missiles fueled by those 3 flights from China.
Yeah.
But it's the medium ranges are the ones that are doing the real damage.
Right. It says 24 to 36, but of course then he made the point they can reduce the warhead yield so they can get more flight time, really play with it.
Does it surprise you that this story got missed by so many people, given all the implications there are for that?
I mean, people were making jokes about the
literally
UAE
flew under the radar.
Well, there's that. Let me pull that one back up. Let's go and grab it. This image of the single UAE flight going over Iran that everybody was sharing. Nobody thought to share the one of the 3 Chinese cargo planes going into Iran and then taking off and going to Europe. Now the question is, why would they allow them to then come into Europe? That's a crazy thing. I mean, I guess what do you do? China's supplying Iran with something.
Did they go to Europe? They said they were going to go to Luxembourg, but then they never showed up.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They faked Luxembourg.
I thought it said.
Meaning that the plane is still there, or that it just veered, it turned around.
It just went, instead of going to Luxembourg, it went to Iran.
Is that?
I think that's what it said.
Flight plans indicated a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appeared to have never flown near European skies. Oh, okay. I was assuming that meant past tense.
Yeah.
Like they had never been to Europe before. I see what it's actually saying. My mistake.
I don't know if like flight plans tell you the route that they intend to take. Like I don't know if they generally would say we're going to Luxembourg via, Tehran, but
I didn't realize these things could carry 120 tons.
Reinforcing its location.
They're big.
Yeah, that's 747s.
Yeah.
Yo, that's wild. So they say Cargo Lux, the Luxembourg-based company that operated the planes, said its flights did not utilize Iranian airspace, but the firm did not respond to questions about what they were carrying. Cargo manifests are not considered a matter of public record, and though any dangerous goods or special loads have to be declared to the operator and handling agents, information provided could be inaccurate or misleading. China has tried before to send weapons disguised as commercial goods, labeling drone components as wind turbine parts, according to shipments intercepted by European authorities.
Technically, they are wind turbines.
Indeed.
It does raise an interesting question about what China will do. Let's say things get really desperate for the Iranians. What will China do? I don't think it'll intervene militarily, but will it take some kind of steps to bolster the Iranians? I don't know. I don't know what those would be.
It said that Iran was their largest energy provider, right? Who's
2
their
million barrels per day.
Who is their second largest?
That's full list.
Probably Saudi Arabia.
Like that's because then the question is like, what would you do to protect the number one source of energy for your country, right?
It's as much a strategic relationship as it is an economic. They benefit from the fact that Iran gives them oil at very cheap prices, but it also helps them because Iran is the most disruptive actor in the region.
What?
The United States has no influence.
Too weak to kill my teammate. I just ran past the door and got fucking lit up.
You're too weak.
You know those grip
No, I don't.
machines that tells you how strong your grip is? What do you think you'd get?
I don't know. Maybe like 150 pounds.
If anyone in the region, if our allies want help with Iran, they're inclined to go to Beijing.
Does it say?
This doesn't say that Iran is their biggest. It says Saudi Aramco.
Saudi Arabia.
Rosneft, Russia. It makes sense that Russia would be a bigger energy provider because they just call it a cold. The foreign policy guys call Russia like a cold gas station.
Yeah.
You have dropped the diffuser.
It's what they sell. They sell energy.
Down to one friendly.
ExxonMobil provides a lot to China as well. Shell, Woodside Energy. Yeah, I don't know. This said Iran is one of their top energy partners. One of their key energy suppliers, whatever that means.
They buy from everybody.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder how much of a threat a fractured and shattered Iran would be in the region, how much China's concerned
All
about.
friendlies have been eliminated.
Concerned, very concerned. The big, if Iran were to fracture, of course they'd lose an ally, because they have China. It's China, Russia, Iran, North Korea against us and our allies. But if Iran were to actually fracture, I think the big winner in the game will be Turkey, because the one third of all Iranians are Turks.
Interesting.
And so it'll change the the ethnic composition of Iran. It could actually break it up, but more than likely, I think there would just be an Iran that had a more Turkic flavor to it.
People need to understand the region, and a lot of people don't even know where Iraq and Afghanistan are. But
Friendly
you see
drone
Iran
deployed.
borders Turkey.
Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
The whole northeast quadrant of Iran is Turkish speaking, Azerbaijani Turkish speaking.
Very interesting.
So Turkey and Azerbaijan are allies.
And there's Kurds up there. Don't forget about
There's Kurds there too, but the overwhelming population the Kurds are down a little bit, closer toward the Iraq. Up in the northeast quadrant, it's overwhelmingly Azerbaijani Turks, and Turkey and Azerbaijan are allies. So
Yo, dog, can I ask you a question, dog?
When you fucking yeah, go bitch.
Proceed to bomb's location.
Let's say you're like with God or whatever, right? In like the afterlife, or in this case the before life, right? You're just like a soul, no body, and it's just like he's there creating your body, creating your life or whatever. You know, he like turns the dial up on like okay, you're gonna be white, you're gonna be, you're gonna be born here, blah blah blah. And just before he sends you to Earth, he goes to the retard dial and he dials it all the way up.
You must
So
recover the diffuser.
what would you say to him?
Say why, dog?
Huh?
I'd say why, dog?
One friendly operator remaining.
And he's like, do you want to go to hell?
I don't know. You're gonna make me a retard. I think that's it.
He's like, do you have faith?
Dude, how the fuck? Oh, I hate that gun so much, dude. Yeah, he almost died too.
Oh. Fucking faggot won't play the game.
Allies right across the border that could help them out.
Of course I won't. It's a fucking faggot game.
So it's gonna. That's gonna happen, I think.
Dog,
anyway,
you don't know
one way
what
or another.
game
I don't
I'm
mean that Iran is gonna crack up.
The faggot Star Wars game?
It ain't a faggot game, dog.
Holy shit, this guy literally is a fucking retard. I think you're just telling your story when you asked me about God making me a retard. I think that's just...
Nay.
Be ready to engage Op 4.
Swapping mags!
10 seconds left. 5 seconds to insertion. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
I'll make sure to do this by the book.
Good. I wouldn't want to reprimand.
No, man! Fucking faggots, bro.
How's it feel, dog?
I
mean, the
so
ethnic
that was their only hope.
Mix in Iran is going to shift.
I asked you how it fucking
and it's going
feels.
to shift to the
dog.
advantage of the Turks.
You know, it's such a strange coincidence. how,
Wait,
you know, Iraq
what was
and
your question?
Afghanistan,
I don't
these
think
two
you
coun-
asked it like a fucking retard. Or did you?
Dude.
Huh?
Fucking retard. Yeah, you're a fucking retard.
Another thing. Countries we just had to invade just so happened to surround Iran.
They did.
But, well,
Op 4, last operator standing.
when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, we took out the enemies of the Iranians.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein and the Taliban were both hostile to Iran.
But you know, as far as Iran's concerned, they were just replaced by someone else hostile to Iran.
Yes.
So I'm not sure the equation was made better.
No, that's the way some of them saw it, but I think that they found this pretty easy to play.
Yeah.
The
I know that.
The Iranians?
Yeah, that's how I see it. I think that this is the toughest we've ever been with Iran, and it's not us. I mean, the other day, Donald Trump said, or yesterday, that I control, or we control the skies over Iran, but we're not doing that. The Israelis are.
Ted Cruz said we're striking Iran.
People are saying it's
Yeah.
a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Or the royal we.
Yeah.
It's our allies that are engaged in this with our interests.
It's our alliance. And,
Yeah.
How harmful
Bomb
is that
diffuser has been
to Trump
successfully
at home
deployed.
now?
Located
with,
the diffuser,
polling
destroy
saying
it.
that people are that CNN reporting that people are in support of what he's doing. Then maybe I'm just kind of fractured and living online, but the anti-war right now, the anti-war right has a problem with this, and it's causing problems. It's causing discontent.
In my opinion, there's a significant sliver of the anti-war and anti-Israel right that
All friendlies were
don't want
eliminated.
Trump to do any of
Failure.
this. The majority of people that would consider Israel an ally, they're fine as long as the U.S. doesn't actually invade.
That's the problem. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, airstrike. They're mostly fine with airstrikes, if I understand correctly, and this is from the polls that I've seen. But they don't want to see Americans on the ground, and I think that just so long as we don't end up with a situation of Americans on the ground fighting in Iran, I think that this will be a
I got
total
double
non-issue,
commended.
just so
Triple
long
commended.
as it doesn't
Quad
turn into
commended.
Yeah,
the
dude,
US
you proud of
trying to go in
yourself?
and change
Dude,
Huh?
let's
I
go,
totally
dude.
agree.
You fucking piece of shit.
100%.
Do you think they end up with boots on the ground?
Damn,
No.
dude.
No.
Celebrate charcuterie summer with
How do I get
Mastro and
commended
San
when my team
Daniele.
killed?
No,
Oh,
because
I'm
that-
although
better
the-
than them.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm far more interested in what you've got to say, and so
Yeah, you know when they play
you
like
said
a
they,
fucking
you mean
retard
Americans?
to
Yes.
play like
Yeah, no, I don't
basketball,
think so. But
they all
there's
just
a-
let
there's
them
a
shoot
non-
the ball into
there's a significant
the
chance that
hoop.
the
They don't
Israelis
play
will go
defense
in.
or anything.
If
That's
Trump
what they're doing for
decides
you,
not
okay?
to-
Nice.
It's one of the reasons why I think Trump will decide to bomb, because if the Israelis are gonna destroy Fordo, and if we don't destroy it with the bunker busters, then they have to go in on the ground. But then that creates dynamics.
Why don't
that
you
could end
go
up
make
being
some
more destabilizing
macaroni
than if we
art,
just went in
okay?
with the bunker
Nice,
busters.
dude.
So we're gonna have planes over Iran,
Fucking
like American planes.
Yeah.
And
There's
you,
some
if an
of that
American
beside
plane
me,
gets shot
actually.
down, is that perceived differently then?
Then I made it.
In the eyes of
in the eyes of the American people, does that change
Yeah,
things
dude.
entirely? If an American
ready to
plane
engage
gets brought
Op 4.
down, are they going to look at it differently than if we were to send boots on it?
Yeah, I think so. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just curious. It's like I can only go through like what my what it looks like reflected back at me. And most of the people that I interact with are kind of given the platform that Trump ran on. No wars in his first term, peace through diplomacy. Foreign policy through diplomacy, and what you're seeing right now. One of the questions that I had was like, would he have handled this differently if he was in the first term and seeking a second term?
remember in his first term when he struck Soleimani,
fucking retard doesn't know how to put on a fucking
so those are two
piece of
things
shit
that
bullshit on the wall.
really kind of
Fucking retard.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile.
I don't like saying the word Goyo, dude. Nice. Fucking retard blew up the show for no fucking reason.
I wanted to say, do I have a team, but I remembered what game I was playing.
Term peace through diplomacy, foreign policy through diplomacy.
dude,
what you're
you
seeing right now.
should
one of the
remember what
questions
game.
that I had was like, would he have
Do you
handled
want a
this
fucking
differently if
cookie?
he was in the first term
I think I should get one, yeah.
and seeking a second term?
Remember in his first term when he
I
struck
get-
Soleimani and he
Oh, yeah.
said to take out ISIS. So those are two things that really kind of cast him as credible when he makes a use of
Op 4, last
force
stop
threat.
standing.
And I think that this particular issue, he will in the future use this as the evidence that he's willing to use. He's still willing to use force, and because of how powerful the United States military is, that threat comes with real danger. But I think that he'll still try to avoid using force, and he's going to use this as his quote unquote trump card to be like, you don't know, maybe I will. I'm
Yeah,
crazy like
it's
that.
a credibility enhancer if he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's jump to the story from the AP. Pentagon senior advisor Dan Caldwell ousted during investigation into leaks. This is crazy. Oh, wait, this is an old story. How did we get this one in the mix? I don't know. This is an old story. Let's jump to the next story. I don't know. Someone put that in the mix, and then I read it. I'm basically Ron Burgundy. I'll read whatever's in the prompter. We got this story from Times Now News. J.D. Vance was suspended minutes after joining Blue Sky. Here's why. They say Vice President J.D. Vance's Blue Sky account was suspended within minutes of him joining the platform. His posts criticized medical treatments for trans youth and claimed pharmaceutical influence over healthcare decisions. His account has now been reinstated. So this is actually pretty fascinating. J.D. Vance tweeted this out. Let me see if I can pull his tweets up. His ex-post on the Blue Sky. You wrote, "Hello, Blue Sky. I've been told this app has become the place to go for common sense political discussion and analysis. So I'm thrilled to be here to engage with all of you." A series of posts yesterday that found Justice Thomas's concurrence on the medical care for trans quite
10 seconds to insert.
Many of our so-called experts have used bad arguments and substandard science to push experimental therapies on our youth. I might add that many of those scientists are receiving substantial resources from big pharma to push these medicines on kids. What do you think? And they blocked it.
Kona deployed!
After the story went viral, they brought it back. But what's funny is that Blue Sky was supposed to be. I remember talking to Jack Dorsey personally about this. He was like, "Look, we're going to make this Blue Sky crypto blockchain thing. That way, everybody will be able to speak freely." And now it is the most violent and censorious platform that exists. It is a literal hive of scum and villainy.
Twitter 2018, like trapped in a time loop.
Yeah. Empowered to police each other and themselves.
It was that way almost instantly. From the moment it went live, it was that way. Especially once the election happened, it got way worse.
Yeah, people were getting suspended immediately for saying not particularly crazy stuff at all.
And then a lot of the people like.
Did you see what happened there? Your dog, you there?
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
A lot of celebrities will end up they'll make a big show of leaving X and going over to Blue Sky, and then they come back to X, or then they come back to X because you can't actually have a discussion on Blue Sky with anyone.
One of my favorite things about that is when they have the their name on X is blah 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 at Blue Sky, at B Sky, blah blah blah, and it's like they're making sure that I also have a Blue Sky account. Not that anyone on X is going to go to Blue Sky to find them. The people on Blue Sky that are interested in what they have to say are probably already following.
Op 4 is
but
reinforcing
yeah,
its location.
I love the fact that they're just like, I'm on Blue Sky, and you should follow me there, and everyone on X is like, no, that place is horrible.
It's a great place to go to mine content when people are angry at stuff. If you do work like we do, it's a fantastic platform.
It is the literal salt mines where you go to mine salt.
Yeah. Remind me of Tumblr. Almost exactly like Tumblr.
Yes, absolutely.
That's where
Very
it all
much.
went wrong. Tumblr.
Just like every conservative attempt at making some alternative Twitter, it just didn't work. Yeah. That's why Elon just bought it.
Insertion in 10 seconds.
Not everybody has that option, right? Like,
yeah. But I think what we end up
Insertion in
seeing
5 seconds.
from platforms like Blue Sky is that that's a cult.
Remember, Blue Sky
Proceed to bomb
ran
location
Jack off
and defuse
because
it.
Jack Dorsey. That didn't mean.
he had his like mini libertarian phase for a
Yeah,
while.
and he was thinking that he was like, oh, Blue Sky is going to be like this, blah blah blah, and they literally ran him off. They're like, get out of here, Jack Dorsey, you're a Nazi.
Proves that he doesn't understand the people that he courted all that well.
I mean, maybe he just thinks that he's got magical powers. This time it'll work.
He does kind of have that look about him.
Just throw apps at it. Throw apps at it until one finally sticks it without turning into a.
Can they? Is this?
Get out!
Fucking killed him too, man. Waited, didn't even do damage to me. What?
it's held in the same regard of like that you can't ban a public official on X. Wasn't that a thing for a while? Like you can't ban the profile of a public official because the public has the right to
you can ban
engage with them. You can still ban them.
Yep.
Like I thought that they banned Trump because he was no longer in office.
No, it was a big issue when Laura Loomer was running for office and they banned her on all these platforms. And it's like, you're giving free airtime to her political rival while blocking. That's crazy that these companies are doing that. Blue Sky invites it, I guess.
I mean, a lot of people have kind of fallen by the wayside on that because it seems like the tech bros have kind of tried to cozy up to the right since Trump came.
Last stop standing.
Rubbish. Nasty.
Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
Came back to office, right? But it doesn't mean that, you know, next election cycle comes around and they lose, that they won't go right back to the way they were before.
Yeah, I suppose the bigger question is, how do you break people out of the cult?
As like you yourself, like how do you as a person do it to somebody else? I've never
Rhetorical you and you personally, Brett Dasovich.
It's always to me been everything. You have to do it yourself.
Friendly
Like you
drone
cannot
deployed.
be led to
Op
that
4 is
information by yourself
reinforcing its
because
location.
when somebody leads you to that information, your hackles are up and somebody's already, especially if you're trying to tell them that something they've believed for any length of time is wrong, they're automatically going to be combative with you. The best thing that a person can do is go seek new information on their own, but most people don't go and do that. I would argue that most people that shift politically probably get there because maybe somebody showed them one thing one time, they didn't think much of it, but they went on that journey themselves and they had to get to that information themselves. They couldn't be led there by another person. It feels like a fool's errand to try.
10
I
seconds.
think this characteristic is largely what defines what we would call the left or liberals.
5 seconds
in
to
that
insertion.
They're not looking for stats. They're not trying to figure out what's actually going on.
Proceed to bomb the
They
location
tend just
and
to
defuse it.
agree with whatever the other part of the crowd agrees with. And so you end up with violent echo chambers that ban the vice president when he cordially and politely brought up a major Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the same thing comes true when you go look at the protests and stuff like that. Call and response. You're not allowed to actually go and have a discussion with them because they understand that most of the time their arguments fall flat when you try to engage with someone honestly.
Yo, it is wild. The protests I've been to, you walk up, like I'm at one of these protests and these people have no idea. This is years ago. Let's go back 10 years. You walk up to some guy and you'll just say, hey man, how's it going? And they'll be like, sup? And they'll be like, can I ask you some questions? Someone will immediately run to you and go, no, stop talking. And I was in San Bernardino, and there were Trump supporters on one side and Antifa and Farms on the other. And I walked over to the far left side, people were standing around, and I was like, hey, how's it going? What do you guys want to tell me what the protest is about? Immediately a woman ran up and started chanting, Mike, check.
Yeah,
They all start, they want to make sure you cannot get information from them.
That mic check stuff is insane. You sit there and just start repeating the things that each other. It's craziness.
So, what is your answer to your question?
How do you break people from the cult? Yeah. I don't know if there's a classically liberal or traditionally liberal way to do it. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way.
Isn't that your mission here?
I mean, largely the mission is just to kind of break down what's going on in the world and try and discuss it with the most accuracy possible in our opinions on the matter.
The internet as it is right now, it's like everything is so algorithmically programmed that the people that want this information are going to find it, and the people that want a different set of information, albeit maybe less accurate, are going to go find it wherever they go because their computer, their phone is telling them this is what you like looking at, so it's going to feed you more of the same thing.
There's no good answer. I mean, I can say, based on the facts of the case, it is clear. Whatever it is that is our side, the moderate to like right-leaning side, has a bias in reality. Reality has a right-leaning bias, and the left does not. The problem is both sides are saying the exact same thing. The left says people on the right are lying and making things up, and it's all fake news and it's a cult. And then we are saying quite similarly about them. The fact is, we are correct, however. And the easiest way to break that down is the right is a disparate hodgepodge group of random ideologies.
Well, look at what's going on right now with Iran and Israel. There's people on all sides of the right arguing about what's going on and whether it's the right thing to do. And
the cultists are trying to discredit the anti-war side, which is the weirdest thing. So 2 great examples. Jon Stewart mocked Steve Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jack Posobiec, and Charlie Kirk, who are all anti-intervention with the war in Iran. Why? Jon Stewart says, well, credit where credit is due. You know, we shouldn't engage in these protracted quagmires in the Middle East. But hold on there, and then mocked and belittled them.
Right.
That serves only to reinforce the psychological drive of the cult. These people are bad. Don't listen to them. Then Jon Stewart comes out and goes, you know, I don't like war, but if you actually were listening to, say, Jack Posobiec, he's going to, or Steve Bannon is a better example, he's going to be like, no war, no, 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 never. Jon Stewart will say, no war, no war. Wait a minute, what's that? They attacked who? Well, now we have no choice. Sam Seder's another example. He made a video attacking me, calling my anti-intervention stance a grift. For what purpose? There are people who are Trump supporters who were tweeting up no new wars under Trump, vote for Trump. And now that Trump is talking about a strike in Iran, they're saying, I trust my president. And it's like, go after the hypocrites.
Yeah.
But the point is discredit. So they're not, I think the issue largely is that these liberals saying, cell loser, I guess.
It's weird because if you're Delta in America, you're one of the most dangerous people in the world.
Indeed. Let's jump to the story from CNN. Supreme Court upholds Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for trans youths.
Proceed to bomb the location.
This is what J.D. Vance was talking about when he got banned temporarily from Blue Sky.
That's insane.
They say the 6-3 decision by a conservative majority is a major blow to the transgender community and its advocates at a critical time. Since 2020, Republican-led states around the country have passed a wave of laws regulating the lives of trans Americans, with a particular focus on minors. And President Trump, who ran for re-election in part by ending the transgender lunacy, has taken several steps to roll back gains made by that community. So they say roughly half the states have similar bans. I believe this is the first step. Maybe not the first.
Dude, that is fucking sick, dude.
She's in the kitchen, last I checked.
Loading new magazine!
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
We we are very close to a nationwide ban. I think it's entirely possible that the Supreme Court could ban it outright. No more mutilation of children.
I like that. The idea that we have to continue to make believe that this is possible while they're literally ruining the lives of children is insane. There is no such thing as a trans child. I don't care what anyone says. This is absolute insanity, and the Supreme Court got this right. The fact that there were 3 justices that were on the wrong side of this shows how useless they are as justices. Yeah, that's about all I got on this.
So in this context, I want to explain to you what transgender is while stepping out of the political space. I'd like to pull this up here. This is r/reality shifting. Serge just said, oh no. Reality shifting is a community of people online who believe they have the ability to transport their consciousness into an alternate reality. The things they believe get dangerous. In one of the posts on Reddit, they say when you die in your current reality, don't worry. You don't die. Your consciousness will just shift to another reality.
The TikToks on this are crazy.
And they're going massively viral. So
why do people use Kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites at once? I like to do things by...
Reality shifting TikToks are where they're more viral, of course. Yep. And you may be saying, well, what does that have to do with transgender? Let me explain. Obviously, you know, nobody can transport their consciousness to another reality. Maybe if we first discover that parallel realities exist through science, and then build a machine where you can literally do it, maybe that's possible. But the idea that you can lock yourself in a closet, close your eyes, and go, it's going to send you to a faraway universe, that's called imagination, not reality shifting. So what happens is, 15-year-olds go online. They hate their life. They hate school. They're going through puberty. They're awkward, whatever it may be. Depressed, angry. And they say, why does my life suck? Well, guess what? Someone's got the answer for you. And it is that you're in the wrong reality. Did you know this? You are trapped in the wrong reality. You need only close your eyes and focus and believe the things we tell you, and you can shift into the correct reality. Your trans reality, unfortunately. That's right. Now, this sounds insane, and we can tell it's insane. The gender thing is no different. The only problem, liberals have adopted it as if it were true.
Yep.
We are only a few years away from stuff like this being entered into legislation, where you end up with CNN saying President Vance is opposed to reality shifters and reality shifting care. We are years away, if this is the trend, where doctors providing reality shifting care will bring you to a hospital bed and put you in an induced coma so you can transport to your desired reality.